Hey everyone, Mrs. Klein here. This is April, week 3, day 4 and 5. For those of you who had the shooting story and the acrobats story. So the story with the soccer with Emily and Morgan, I'm trying to find the title, hold on. Shoot and Score, that was the title, sorry. Shoot and Score, and then acrobats. So we are going to actually look at the questions today and go through how to answer some of them, okay? Let me pull that up here. Now remember, I expect you guys to these questions, okay? So we're gonna actually have to go back through the text some to answer these, to answer some of these. You might have to scroll back through because sometimes it's hard to remember all of the facts, okay? And since it's been a couple days since we've maybe read the story or, even a day, it's sometimes difficult. So let's go and look back. All right, question number 1 says, what does Morgan say it takes to become good at soccer? So remember, Emily gets really upset because she cannot aim the ball at Morgan. And Morgan tries to encourage her and she tells her some things, and she does. She tells her what it takes to become good at soccer. So let's go ahead and go to that story here. All right, and it's on this page. It's right around here. Let's see here. Emily lifts her foot. She kicks the ball. Remember, she gets so upset. Why didn't the ball go straight to you? Don't be sad, Morgan says. You have to aim. Okay, then she goes on to say, let's see. Morgan says it takes a lot of practice to become good at soccer. Oh, good gravy. Here we go again. Mrs. Klein, always messing this up. All right, there we go. I tried to underline it the best I could, but that's where we found the answer, okay? Morgan says it takes a lot of practice to become a good soccer player. So we are going to go back to that question right here, and we're going to just put that. Remember, it says, what does Morgan say it takes to become a good soccer player? To restate that, we're going to say, Morgan says it takes a lot of practice to be a good soccer player. All right, that was a pretty easy one for us to answer. Okay, let's look at question 2. What is the main idea of this story? So that means, what is the story mostly about? Okay, what is the story Shoot and Score mostly about? What are we learning from this story? I hear a lot of good conversation. Now I want to know, how am I going to restate this question? How am I going to start it out? Yes, the main idea of Shoot and Score is, what is it? It takes a lot of practice. A lot of these are going to be redundant. It takes a lot of practice to become a good soccer player. Good. And I am going to warn you guys, the questions for these 2 stories are pretty redundant. They kind of repeat themselves, and you guys will kind of see that here as we move on. Okay. Good. That's not something, when it says what is the main idea, that's not something that we can usually go back up and just copy a sentence. Usually we kind of have to use our brains and think, okay, I know all of these details happened, but what is the common thread in this story? It started out, it talked about Morgan has been playing soccer for years. Okay, so we know that she's practiced a lot. It ended with Morgan telling the sister, Emily, you need to practice a lot to be good at soccer. That's how you become a good player. Okay, so it started with lots of practice. It ended with lots of practice. That's a common thread throughout the passage then. And so we have to use our brains and kind of make those connections to let us see that that's the main idea. Okay? All right. Question 3. Now we're going to use the story Acrobats to answer this. Describe Acrobats. Be sure to include information about the practice that they do. Okay, who remembers what it says about Acrobats? And it mostly discusses the information that we're going to want in this paragraph. Okay, so I heard some of you. Yes, they dress in colorful costumes. Good. Aha. They have to train for many years to do the dangerous stunts. Good. It requires a lot of practice. Good. And there's many different types. Good. Very nice. Okay, so we're not going to write all of that, but we can use some of that information. That's very helpful. So let's go ahead and go back down to the question. Describe Acrobats. So we're going to restate this, and what are we going to say? Where it says describe Acrobats. What do we say? Yeah, we started out. Acrobats. That one's easy to restate. Acrobats wear colorful costumes. They have to train and practice for what? For many years to be able to do dangerous stunts. Very nice. You guys, that was awesome. Are you guys already seeing something common between the two stories? Between the shoot and score and Acrobats? What do they have in common? Are you guys already seeing that? Lots of practice. Good. Okay, question number 4. What is the main idea of this article? And now here we go again. We are looking for a common thread throughout this article, the Acrobats article, something that's common and that summarizes basically what is the article mostly about, okay? It is mostly about acrobats, but what about them? Yeah, it opens up and it says, it takes a lot of practice, many years of training for them to do this kind of work. And then it even ends and it talks about the famous acrobats in New York City, Lady Circus, and it says that they've taken several years to learn how to do these, but they love what they do and that kind of thing, okay? So what's our common thread? You guys got it. It takes a lot of practice to become a acrobat. Good. So the main idea in Acrobats is that it takes many years of training and practice to become, whoops, I spelled that wrong, to become an acrobat. Very nice. I like that you guys are already seeing what's similar in both of the stories. That's great. Okay, so question number 5. And now this is saying that we have to use both articles. We have to use shoot for the score and acrobats to answer these next 2 questions. Question number 5, shoot and score and acrobats both mention practice. We already noticed that. Explain why practice is important to soccer players and acrobats. Support your answer with information from each text. Who remembers what we have to do when it says support your answer with information from each text? What do? Yes, we have to go back and actually use quotes from our passage. Now, this is something that I've been working on with several of you. I want you guys to be able to go back and copy sentences from what we read to help support our answers, okay? So why is practice important for soccer players and acrobats? Let's go and look in our passage. And then you guys are just gonna copy. Guess what? It might be something that you've already written, and you might get frustrated that you're writing the same thing over and over again. But sometimes test questions do that. They ask us the same thing over and over again, just in different ways, and we still have to be able to answer the question, okay? So they really want to make sure that we understand that practice is important for soccer players and acrobats. So let's go and look at the soccer story first and try to find something that we're going to quote for our answer here to support the answer of why practice is important to soccer players. Okay. Good. Okay, so some of you guys are saying that we need to use this right here. Morgan says it takes a lot of practice to become good at soccer. That would be a fabulous sentence for us to quote. Okay, and then some of you guys are saying that we could use this up here. Morgan started playing soccer when she was 7 years old. Now she's 15 years old. We could use that. That would also work. I think the better option here would be to use, Morgan says it takes a lot of practice to become good at soccer. So let's go ahead down here and we're going to start it out, and we're going to say in shoot and score, Morgan says that it takes a lot of practice to become good at soccer. Okay, and then we need to go back to the acrobat story and figure out why practice is important to acrobats. I think you guys are catching on to this. We've pretty much already said this, right? Right here. We've already said it. Acrobats have to train for many years to do all of these dangerous stunts. It requires a lot of practice. Yes, we need to just quote that again, okay? Acrobats have to train for many years. It requires a lot of practice. In Acrobats, it states acrobats have to train for many years. It requires a lot of practice. Good. I put that in quotes. I probably should have put the thing that Morgan said in quotes. So let's go back up and adjust that. I'm going to adjust the size. Going to adjust the size of this so that way you guys can see it better. Give me 1 second. Oh, good gravy. Here we go. Sorry, everyone. I love how patient you guys are being with me. This is definitely a new, here we go, a new thing for me. Oops, I'm making it bigger. To be teaching in this format. So I love that you guys are helping me. Okay, so in shoot and score, it states, and then we quote, Morgan says that it takes a lot of practice to be good at soccer, end quote. There we go. You guys can pause that screen if you need to get all that written. Question 6 is, the importance of practice is an idea found in both texts. Again, we're still talking about the importance of practice, okay, in both of our stories here. Explain whether the importance of practice is the main idea of each text. Support your answer with evidence from both texts. Your answer to this question may be different for shoot and score than for acrobats. Oh my goodness, are we being redundant? Yes, we are. But can we do this? Yes, we can. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to start, you guys. I'm not going to finish this whole one because I want you guys to really use your brains and kind of think about this, okay? So it says explain the importance of practice. Explain whether the importance of practice is the main idea of each text. We've already discussed that it is, okay? So we're going to say the importance, there we go, of practice is the main idea in both shoot and score and acrobats. This is where I'm going to let you guys finish. Okay, I want you guys to give a sentence from both stories telling why the importance of practice is the main idea. Guess what? You're going to use a lot of what we already used, and that's okay because this is a different question and you still have to answer it. And if it's repeating things, that's okay as long as it answers it. Okay, so I'm going to get you started and then you guys are going to finish. So you're going to say, in shoot and score, it states, and now I want you guys to write a sentence down from shoot and score. Okay? Then you're going to write in acrobats, it states, I'm making you guys do that part too. Finish that sentence, okay? All right, let me make this font a little bit smaller. So if you guys need to pause the screen, you can. Okay. All right, if you guys need to pause the screen to finish that, that's fine. All right, thank you guys for working hard with me on this. I look forward to reading over your answers, and I really enjoyed reading Shoot and Score and Acrobats with you guys. I miss you all. I hope you're all doing well. Love and hugs. Bye.